Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And lo and behold, I have less than 15 minutes now on my phone to record. Again, the reason is because of that WhatsApp group. I'm either going to need to actually clear all that out or ask for an actual video camera for my birthday. That and a green screen. I think I'll do the second one actually. I was just thinking whether this was my last Walking Wednesday before I turn 20, but no, I've got one more. That's obviously next week. So yeah, I guess I finished off my teenage years with the idea of weekly vlogging myself. Don't know why I decided to do that, and I just missed the light. Okay. And we're at a standstill. Look, the red light for me, red light for them. Red light for them as well. Who shall proceed? You know what? Them. They proceed. Whatever. I was trying to say that I don't know why I decided to do this and end off that way, but honestly, I'm not sure. With Walking Wednesday, I feel like a bit of a journey. It's almost become a habit now, to an extent that none of the other series I ever did really became, except maybe the really old ones like Mario 63 Season 1 and Pixelmon and Fortress Pascal to a lesser extent. Maybe Legend of Tid. I know, all of the very simple, easy to record ones that I no longer produce. And yeah, speaking of things that I no longer produce, or that I'm producing, you've noticed that a lot of my videos recently have been to do with Taming the Bad Boy, which, if you don't know, is the series by It's Mimi-chan is her most well-known one. She has other series as well, but that's definitely her most well-known by a long mile. And yes, she was looking to do a season 2 for quite some time, and obviously, as it happens, last week started continuing the review series that I was on. And I've been looking at my analytics on that one actually to see how the review of episode 2 did. And it turns out it wasn't in my most recently top viewed videos. Which you'd think it would be because it is one of my most recent videos in general. But no, surprisingly enough, what was in my most viewed videos as of recently was in fact the first episode of the review series, which I did back in June and released in July, nearly August. So I'm kind of confused on that, although maybe not at the same time. Because honestly it makes sense, because that review episode 2 was almost an hour long, and in that one I don't have like any OCs to complement the actual video. It's just us talking, because obviously for 3 OCs this time it would take a lot longer to actually edit, and I'd probably still be churning away. And we're making those reviews quite quickly. We kind of diminished the pace a little on that one, because honestly it got to the point where we were doing 3 reviews a day, hours on end. Yeah, not necessarily the best of ideas. But as for some of that, I forgot what I was going to say now. But as for that, episode 3, I am cutting out a lot more of the excess fluff, partly because it is also conversations of a more mature setting, a mature nature than I usually do. So some of them, I think, and also some of them are just rambles and fluff. So I'm being a lot more selective with what I keep in the actual videos now, because I've noticed that if I do something that's an hour long, it's not gonna get anywhere. As of right now, the video was 54 minutes before I started editing, and then it turned into I believe just over 45. So not quite 46 before anyone says that. But yeah, I don't know. honestly, I could split them up into several parts, but what would be the point in that? Because it just ended up being, you know, 3 part 1, 3 part 2. I don't know. I'll see how this one does. I also recorded a solo review, which does have my OC in the forefront, because that's easier to do, even though that's taking actually more time now than the 3-person collaboration that we have going on. And then the next episode, I think, is a 4-person. So it's so I feel like the collaboration ones, because I don't include the OCs, are going to be a lot easier. And Mimi agrees, because she tried doing the OCs for her review of The Mutant Girl, and as it turns out, that was not going to be viable either, because frankly, I don't blame her. She had to do all the stills, and she was getting a few more expressions than I think I did, actually. So there you go. What else? So in terms of other stuff, of course there was Team Mania, and Maniac Studios they're called now, because she changed their name. Anyway, so Maniac Studios are now back in business producing Yandere High School, because that title has never ever been done by anyone, clearly, not like several people. And yeah, so I'm back with them recording for those things, and as it just so happens, they both fall on school days for me. And yeah, before anyone says anything about that, I do accept the fact that I'm usually putting the pressure on myself in terms of what I do. But in terms of YouTube, because most of the projects that I'm really invested in, I'm dedicating a lot of my time to, are my own. In this instance, it's somebody else who is on the line. I was talking to Dana recently about that before Maniac Studios started their thing, and yeah, she was saying that can't do all the projects at once, which I can see to an extent. She said that right before we did her lines for Enceladus episode 1. They had to go because we ran out of time for use of the studio. So in terms of Enceladus episode 1, I can now compile the audio for that. Compiling audio takes a while, but honestly, for these people, I think because they're a bit more mature and more versed in acting, I think it might be all right, and then I can leave the rest in the capable hands of Dylan Wiley. So that could probably be out recently. I've almost done Ultra Nova Abridged as well, because I mentioned that one. I gave that away in a few episodes ago that I was doing that. That one shouldn't be a while. Everyone keeps asking me how I'm going to do that. Am I going to be remaking the things from scratch? No. If you don't know how an abridged series works, you take the original footage and you dub it over with your own comedic ideas. That's how that works. So no, we will not be remaking the models to suit our own needs, because a lot of the jokes are going to be audio based rather than visual. So yeah, and as per every abridged series, I haven't even written the second one yet, so expect that to be out ages and ages later. Because what would an abridged series be if it didn't have several massive delays? But there you go. Yeah, I think that covers most of the YouTube side. In terms of the week side, that's kind of boring stuff in terms of what I've been doing. In Intro to Screenwriting, we did stuff about the Truman Show and trying to rewrite the first scene after seeing it pause with no intervals, so we couldn't write anything down in time anyway. I got to know a bit more about the actual intro to the Truman Show and how that was based. So yeah, I enjoyed that, at least. It got me to go on a ramble on Show Don't Tell about in my solo review. Yeah, as for As for drama, had my first seminar. So not very exciting, because the groups of the seminar groups, they work every 2 weeks, and for some reason didn't have any on the first week, because it was just the interest of the module, I guess, or not really. But yeah, this is my first time doing a seminar, and it was okay. Turns out they work the exact same way as other seminars do, in regards to not being practical. So I've ended up with the new knowledge that I'm doing nothing practical for drama this semester, which is disheartening, but I guess I'll just have to find my own way when I actually find a way to manage my own time in regards to that, because that might take a while. Yeah, so what else? There was Tuesday. What did I do on Tuesday? Well, more poetry, I guess. This is the same thing. We actually got to workshop this week, so that's good. Normally we run out of time. We did that in prose as well. We got so engrossed to talking about the other stuff that we never got to workshop our own thing. And yeah, honestly, I thought because of our discussions about poems have to be read out loud, I thought we were going to read them out loud, but it turns out that was not to be the case, and we just didn't do that. So a lot of the poems that I had 3 poems because we got 3 assignments. We was only supposed to bring in 1, but I brought another 3 just in case, because some of them were quite short. And I thought we were going to be able to do that. So most of the poems I wrote to be read out loud, if not all of them. So it doesn't help things when you can't give the background as to what the word gotcha means to a class of university students who have never heard of the program itself. So yeah, I did write a poem about gotcha. Maybe I might actually upload those. I can do my own poem readings actually. I think that might be good. I'll be able to produce those quickly, get some nice visuals in, maybe. Yeah, why not do that? Oh, also, I forgot to mention the Taming the Bad Boy theme song. Now I'm on poems, actually. Of course, Taming the Bad Boy now has an official theme song because I thought to do that for Mimi. I don't know why I didn't do that for myself back when I was doing The Mutant Girl. I'll have to think about that in regards to that. Maybe I'll get Natasha to sing it or something. Because I keep trying to get Natasha to sing songs in The Mutant Girl, because obviously she's musical Natasha, but it doesn't always work that way. So, in that regard, I'll have to get back to the drawing board and see what I can find in terms of good music and something to compose lyrics to. So yeah, that Taming the Bad Boy song seems to have gone down a treat actually, so I'm glad for that. And who knows, maybe if anyone else needs a theme song for a gacha series, I can provide some assistance. Why not? That would be interesting. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up early. I've got another minute or so recording time, but to be honest, I always get to the very end and forget something. So I think in terms of this week, nothing's been too important or monumental. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut things here. So let me know whatever you thought about anything in the comments or something. I'm not sure for this week because nothing really that interesting happened apart from the theme song. So yeah, let me know what you think about the theme song, I guess, in the description below. And yeah, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And on that note, until next time, farewell. Okay, so it turns out I did actually forget something quite important, and it's that I've just been to a lecture about studying abroad. So yeah, potentially I might end up being abroad next year, and I've got to make that decision before my birthday actually, because if I apply for the semester, I apply this year, and if I apply for the year, the sandwich year, I apply next year, which doesn't give me a lot of time to make that decision. I thought I could send an application to both of them and then I could see for myself, but apparently that's not the case. And also I only have one option to do, which is SCSU, which does not stand for South Carolina State University, but in fact Southern Connecticut State University. But as my research has indicated, the most competitive one out of all of them for dual honours. I could talk to some people to do a drama-related one. Maybe I'll get somewhere different in the US, like California, for example. Or maybe I can go to Spain. I don't know yet. But that's still something that happened this week and I had to make a decision on. Good thing I've actually decided my other thing to do this week, which was my birthday presents. So yeah, camera and green screen. I guess I'll ask for those. Anyway, until next time, farewell.